Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to go back in time and talk about some V8 cars by taking a look at some cool Dodge concept vehicles. So today's list are the top Dodge concept cars that have the 6.4L Hemi V8 engine under the hood. With the Hemis now discontinued in the Dodge muscle cars, it's also a nice way to pay homage to this legendary 392 Hemi engine. For each concept, I'll cover the exterior and interior design, performance, and the significance of the vehicle. So let's get into it. We'll begin with the oldest Dodge concept car on the list, the 2006 Superstock. This was long before the days of the current drag-focused Challengers, like the Drag Pack, RT Scat Pack 1320, or even the actual SRT Superstock model, and also long before the 6.4L Hemi would be found in a production car, as that happened in the 2011 Challenger SRT 392. So for the 2006 SEMA show, Mopar came out with the Superstock concept to mark the introduction of the 392 Hemi crate motor to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the engine. The body was handcrafted using carbon fiber with a crosshair grille and full-width neon taillight, with a patriotic American paint scheme, blue on top with a red stripe and a white body. To create this concept, Dodge used a cut-down Dodge Magnum SRT8 chassis. It also has a massive scoop that towers over the hood. Of course, the major feature was that new fuel-injected 392 Hemi V8 crate, which was good for 525 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque in the concept. This was paired with an A999 TorqueFlite 3-speed automatic built for drag racing, with a manual valve body and turbo action 3800 stall speed converter. Gone was the independent rear suspension of the Challenger, replaced with a solid Dana 60 rear axle. It also had 10-inch Goodyear Eagle drag slicks and line lock, which wouldn't feature on a production vehicle until 12 years later with the 2018 Challenger Demon. The performance was really solid, especially for a 2006 car. The Superstock was taken for a run at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in April 2007, hitting the quarter mile in just 11.53 seconds at 114 miles an hour. In comparison, the 2019 Dodge Challenger RT Scat Pack 1320 was rated at an 11.7 second quarter mile from Dodge. And again, 14 years later, Dodge would reuse this Superstock name on the 2020 models with 807 horsepower. 2 years later, at the 2008 SEMA show, Dodge and Mopar unveiled the competition car that was built to compete at the Targa Newfoundland race in Canada, which is an annual rally race event that covers 2,200 kilometers, or roughly 1,400 miles, over 7 days in September. The car began its life as a Mopar Challenger drag race package vehicle, given the nickname Samantha. The first thing to notice is the snakeskin green paint taken from the Dodge Viper to give the Targa a unique look, and Dodge would actually later offer a green with envy color on the 2011 RT Classics and SRT8s, limited to 1,532 vehicles. This version was stripped, so it dropped 1,000 pounds off the regular Challenger SRT8 weight, which was 4,100 pounds. Gone were the airbags, heating, air conditioning, power steering, windshield wipers, and the used polycarbonate body panels. Mopar also added a huge hood scoop and chin spoiler that was specially designed in a wind tunnel. The entire hood has been blacked out, and there's a matching black stripe on the side of the body. Inside there are special Mopar gauges. Of course, the performance was the main objective of this vehicle for the rally race, so it was another chance to show off the 392 Hemi crate engine under the hood, this one with 540 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque, hooked up to a 6-speed Tremec manual transmission. Dodge Viper ACR parts were used and upgraded by KW, including the race suspension. Stop Tech provided the big brake kit, with 15-inch front rotors and 6-piston calipers, with 14-inch rotors in the rear with 4-piston calipers. Chrysler Vice President of Design Ralph Gilles drove the car out at the race with co-driver Karen Wagner, where the Targa finished second in its class, but 22nd overall out of 39 finishers. At the 2016 SEMA show, Mopar was back with modified vehicle creations, releasing 6 unique vehicles, one of which was the Shakedown Challenger. This weaved together design cues from the classic 1971 Challenger and the present look to make a fantastic looking vehicle. It was finished in a bitchin' black exterior, riding on a hand-built one-off frame with a removable body. It has a 1971 Shaker hood scoop with a red and black Shakedown badge, and gloss black and gloss red stripes that flow all the way from the front splitter area to the rear valence. Red Mopar 392 decals are found on the front fenders. The 1971 Challenger body was shaved down, deleting the door handles, drip rails, and moving the fuel door to the trunk. The headlights and taillights are from a 2017 Challenger, but morphed to mesh seamlessly with the 1971 proportions. Satin black dominates the look as it's found on the headlight bezels, fog light bezels, mirror caps, grille, rear spoiler, and front chin splitter. The interior is no less awesome, starting with the Dodge Viper front seats that have been retrimmed in black catskin leather with Alcantara inserts and red stitching, which matches the Dodge Viper steering wheel that has a custom satin black airbag cover. The shifter is taken from a Hellcat. The Mopar instrument panel gauges are black, contrasting the gloss carbon fiber trim that are found on the instrument panel, steering wheel, and door panels. A black Shakedown badge outlined in red was stamped on the dashboard. Aiming to be a track performer, the Shakedown did get a rear seat delete replaced with a net and console shelf and a custom roll bar. The fuel cell and the lines are stored in the black carpet-lined trunk. The engine is nothing new from a similar year Challenger Scat Pack or SRT 392 model, with 485 horsepower, 475 pound-feet of torque, and a Tremec T6060 6-speed manual transmission. It gets small add-ons like the Mopar cold air intake and Mopar dual exhaust with powder-coated black exhaust tips. The suspension is dropped both front and rear by an inch. As for the wheels, it used black Slingshot Hellcat wheels, 19 by 9.5 inches up front with 20 by 9.5 inches in the rear. It also borrows the Hellcat's brakes, with 6-piston Brembos up front and 4 pistons in the rear. The Shakedown was not only really neat, but also showed us a few production items that would end up being out later. The rear seat delete was offered on the 2018 Challenger Demon, 2019 and up Scat Pack 1320, the 2020 Superstock, and also some Hellcats as a separate option, and Mopar also sold the rear seat delete kit. As for the Shakedown, Dodge first introduced a $995 Shakedown package for the Challenger in 2018, offering the racing stripes, white face gauges, and an Alpine audio system on Hemi Shaker models. Then the Challenger Shakedown would return for 2023 on the Scat Pack in Destroyer Grey and the Scat Pack Widebody in Pitch Black as a last call model. They made 500 of each for 2023, and on these cars the black and red exterior and interior styling elements would mimic the 2016 Shakedown. So this whole Shakedown was a cool retro thing that Dodge did, while showing off the Shaker hood that's paired with a 6.4-liter Hemi motor. At the 2021 SEMA show, Mopar released 7 custom concept vehicles, one of them being the Dodge Challenger Holy Guacamole. This takes the 2020 Challenger RT Scat Pack Widebody, that also happens to be a 50th anniversary edition, and tries to give it a more old school look. The exterior features a custom green paint, a color that Dodge calls Rotten Avocado, and has a custom painted gold school Shaker hood scoop, and matching 50th anniversary side striping that wasn't found on the production versions. It rides on staggered 20-inch forged line wheels with Fratzog center caps, and gets a Mopar coilover suspension lowering kit. As with the other concepts in the video, under the hood is a 485 horsepower 6.4-liter Hemi V8, and it does have a Mopar cold air intake. Saving the best for last, depending on if you like it or not, the interior is absolutely decked out with green and yellow plaid inserts on the seats and wooden panel trims, both of which pay tribute to the colors and materials that were found in the original 1970 Dodge Challenger. Next up we have the 2016 Dodge Durango Shaker. This was an interesting concept as it was the first time that Mopar toyed with the idea of putting the 6.4-liter Hemi under the hood of the Durango, and it was also the one and only time that we've ever seen a Shaker hood on this SUV. FCA brought this out to the 2016 SEMA show, and at that point Mopar enthusiasts had waited a long time in hopes of seeing a Dodge performance SUV. Its name makes it obvious, but the Durango gets the Shaker hood, which sits on top of the 392 Hemi V8, making 475 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque stock, but probably making a bit more power than that, as it gets a Mopar cold air intake and a catback exhaust, with a unique dual exit located right at the center of the back end, instead of on the sides. The hood and Shaker are finished in satin black that provide a nice contrast to the bright B5 blue paint. The black and blue theme continues, with black side sills, a black fuel filler door taken from a Challenger, smoked taillights, blue mirror caps, and a blue custom rear spoiler that gives the SUV a longer, lower appearance. The front end gets a honeycomb grille, big front chin splitter, and a new lower valence where they've stuck Challenger Hellcat lights into the fog light area. Those are the ones that have intakes in the middle of them to get more air to the engine. Massive 22 by 10.5 inch Mopar wheels sit under custom fender flares, with 305mm tires and 6-piston Brembo calipers, and the truck is lowered by 3 inches from a standard Durango. The inside got some really special treatment, as Dodge replaced all 3 rows with some extra Viper seats they had lying around, trimmed in catskin leather with B5 blue stitching. Other additions include a Charger SRT steering wheel, B5 blue bezels, Charger T-shifter, and some Mopar accessories like bright door sill guards, wireless charger, pedal kit, and emergency kit. So this was kind of a mashup of different performance parts that really made this Durango into essentially an SRT model, which at this point in time, there was only the 5.7 liter RT trim. There had been rumors for a while that Dodge was planning an SRT model, and while the Shaker never ended up coming to fruition, it was a sign of things to come, and many of this concept's features would find their way to the 2018 SRT model, and then later the SRT Hellcat. And again, the SRT was around from 2018 to 2024, but I will say that the Shaker Durango is probably cooler than any of the SRT Durangos that I've ever seen. Now we move on to the only truck on this list, the 2011 Dodge Ram 392 Quicksilver concept. This was still during a time when we called these trucks a Dodge Ram, before Ram trucks became their own brand. This aims to invoke some of the same feelings that the Dodge Ram SRT10 did. Not logical, rational, or practical, but rather fun, thrilling, and ridiculous. Ram was testing the waters at the 2011 SEMA show with this full-size single-cab Ram 1500, a vision for another high-performance truck. The Quicksilver got painted in a 3-stage bright silver color with a black roof, and red wheels, mirrors, and trim added. It seems that Ram did send a tester out with different colored wheels though. It also got a deep cowl aluminum hood with heat extractors and a Mopar body kit to complete the look. Other features included a Mopar bed cover with integrated spoiler for downforce, a full red and black themed interior with two-tone leather and Alcantara bucket seats, red trim bezels, carbon fiber on the steering wheel and center console area, and kicker speakers. The Quicksilver started as a Ram RT, but instead of the 5.7 liter, the 6.4 liter Hemi was under the hood with 470 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque, paired with a stock 6-speed automatic and 4.1 rear end with rear-wheel drive. Mopar also added a cold air intake, 3-inch exhaust with electronic cutouts, dual 5-inch tips, and custom headers. Motor Trend was actually able to test this truck out and found that it could run with the legendary Ram SRT10. So it hit 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds, with a quarter mile in 13.7 seconds at 101.2 miles an hour, while the automatic SRT10 did 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds, and the quarter mile also in 13.7 seconds at 102.9 miles an hour. So almost identical performance between the two. The Quicksilver stops good too, with Brembo 15-inch front vented rotors with 6-piston calipers in all 4 corners. The truck was also dropped by a full 2 inches and rode on 22-inch wheels with staggered tires, 305/40 R22 tires in the rear, and 275/45 R22 in the front. While the Quicksilver was awesome and had great reception, Ram has still never stuck a 6.4 liter motor under the hood of the 1500s, just the 2500s. They did make a Hellcat powered TRX, but I believe many people want something in the price range that's above the 5.7 but below the TRX on a half-ton, but this was never fulfilled. Still, the Quicksilver showed us just how awesome that would have been. The final vehicle on this list is the 2007 Chrysler 392 SR Roadster. This is what you get by combining the 392 Hemi crate engine with the world's first ever steel reproduction of a 1927 street rod body, facilitated by 3 car-crazy designers. This wild ride would debut at the 2007 SEMA show. It was a 2-year plan conducted by Mark Allen and Ralph Shields from Chrysler, as well as Michael Chetcuddy from Michigan auto supplier Quality Metalcraft, or QMC. Back then, Allen and Shields were part of the Mopar Underground Skunkworks team, a group of in-house automotive enthusiasts and designers that used their time to build special project cars like this one. They wanted to create a distinctly Detroit Roadster and prove that the 6.4 liter motor could go into something other than a traditional muscle car or modified retrofit. A company by the name of Shadow Rods built an XL27 Roadster with a custom frame, and QMC reworked the body with fabricated hood side panels, lower rocker panels, and doors. Other touches included high gloss black and chrome exterior on the full steel body, mezzanine flooring, and industrial style interior. As for the crate engine, this early Mopar 6.4 liter made 525 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque, but no performance tests were ever done as far as I'm aware. So this was back at a time when Chrysler was at its best, known for innovation, fun, and outrageous concept cars that no one could overlook, giving us this amazing sinister hot rod. It's also an example of what Chrysler should have done to the Plymouth and or Chrysler Prowler, which was a retro roadster that everyone loved the look of, but it just lacked the power to be a true heavy hitter in the industry. Not the SR 392 Roadster though. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed checking out these cool concepts from Dodge with the 6.4 liter Hemi. Some paved the way for things to come, like the Challenger Shakedown, while others were just a fun idea, like the SR 392 Roadster and Ram 392 Quicksilver. Let me know which was your favorite down in the comments section below. Make sure to like and subscribe for all your Mopar content, and I'll see you in the next video.